Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Again, if you're just joining, this is Josh with JoshuaLappinFitness.com. Um, our website is dedicated to a couple different things, um, mainly the advancement and research into effective exercise programs, effective diets, effective nutritional choices, supplements, and we do delve into other topics, things like weight management, sleep, hormones, skincare, a variety of other things. One of our main specialties, though, at JoshuaLappinFitness.com is dealing with the workouts, like I said, but we also try to really assist hard gainers and natural bodybuilder types, which we'll get into some tonight. So, but before we get started, there may be a chat feature on this particular Zoom call that we're using today. If you have some questions, feel free to dump those in there, and I will try to answer them at the end of the program. If you're not comfortable with the chat feature, you should have gotten an email, which is how you found out about this session anyway. So you can always feel free to email me as well at that email address, and I will respond to your question that way as well. So we'll go ahead and get started tonight. First of all, like I said, this is the Skinny to Strong workout program, as the title infers. This is really geared towards hard gainers, which are more like skinny people. We'll talk about the definition of that a little bit more in depth coming up. But this can also work for all body types as well. But it does particularly work well for hard gainers or skinny folks. So if this sounds like you, you're probably in the right place. If you're having trouble getting stronger, if you're having a hard time gaining muscle weight, if you've done a lot of workouts, but you're not seeing very many results, if you're exhausted after your workouts, if you've tried all the traditional advice from online sources, from bodybuilding magazines, bodybuilding books, and if you're tired of spending exorbitant amounts of money on energy, sometimes even more than you're spending on your rent, then you are in the right place tonight. So I've already kind of briefly discussed this, but now we'll go into a little bit more detail. There are three basic body types. Number one is the Mesomorph, and the Mesomorph is the naturally genetically gifted athlete type who puts on muscle fairly easily. Example I like to use is one of my neighbors in the neighborhood I live. He works out a lot, but if you look at his diet, it's pretty atrocious. He eats McDonald's all the time. He's always eating fried foods. Pretty sure he doesn't follow a strict supplement routine or anything. He just kind of does what he wants, but he's still able to put on a ridiculous amount of muscle. These are also the guys that you went to high school with who were already benching 300 pounds when they were 16 years old. Usually the football player types, baseball guys, maybe basketball guys. These guys are the natural athletes. They put on muscle easy. They can put on muscle pretty much just by looking at the bar, not even lifting it. So yeah, I'm a little jealous. We'll be honest here. The second kind of person is the Endomorph. And the Endomorph is typically more like your heavy set kind of person, maybe also known as your big boned person. That's the way some people describe it. These people can put on muscle fairly well, but they can also put on fat fairly well as in addition to that as well. So these people kind of have a middle ground. They're able to bulk up really well, but they're also have slower metabolisms. And then the third and final type is the Ectomorph, commonly known as the skinny person or the hard gainer. And these people have a hard time gaining any kind of weight, but specifically muscle weight. This would be what I would put myself into the category as, the ectomorph. Now I'm getting a little bit older these days. I'm 38 years old, but I found it's a lot easier to put on fat now and still harder to put on muscle. So that is the curse of the ectomorph. And just give you a little bit more background about myself. I've been on this journey for over 26 years. Started around when I was 12 years old. Like I kind of talked about a little bit in the beginning, I've tried all the traditional advice, all the traditional programs. Nothing worked well anyway for me. Did a lot of different routines, tried all the bodybuilding routines, tried all the beach body workouts. And what really happened is after a month or two, I was completely burned out and exhausted because those workouts were not designed for my body type. I started off in a humble way, and I mention this because some of you may not have access to top-rated equipment, which is fine. Also, in this time of COVID, it's hard to get access to a gym. A lot of gyms are still closed, and it's very hard to get access to exercise equipment as well. Now, some gyms are starting to open back up, and there are some ways to use exercise equipment or new exercise equipment. Just as a side note, I do anticipate that as gyms start to open back up, the used exercise market is going to explode as people who have bought up all this stuff are going to start selling it. So there's maybe a really good opportunity to pick up some of this equipment if you want to build a home gym, which I highly recommend. Doesn't have to be fancy, but having your own stuff at home can really be helpful. And this program is perfect for a home gym as well. So if you want to work out at a home gym, you can do this program. If you want to work out at a traditional gym, you can work out there as well. So I was very dedicated and very persistent, but I didn't see any results. So this is not a story about a lack of effort. It's a story about just doing the wrong thing. So what happened was, or has happened, is like I said, this took me about 26 years to figure out. I know it's kind of sad, but I wanted to share with you tonight so that you don't have to struggle and spend all these years trying to figure out what the best program is for you to be on. After years of trial and error, as traditionally I do, I continue to try different exercise routines, and I finally stumbled upon one that actually worked, which is one of the reasons I birthed the JoshuaLappinFitness.com website. It is an effort to share with you proven workout routines that work for specifically the ectomorph or hardgainer body type. The one I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is a very simple 5x5 routine. It's very simple, and it also requires minimal equipment. All you really need is a bench, a squat rack, and probably about 300 pounds worth of Olympic weights. So you would have the bar and the weights, and you can see in the picture kind of what that looks like. If you have access to that right there, minus the dumbbells, you don't need the dumbbells, you have enough equipment to get started. So depending on if you buy either used or new equipment, if you were starting at a home gym or starting a home gym for on your own, it would cost you somewhere between $500 and $1,000 probably to get started. Maybe a little less if you can find stuff on the used market, which, like I said, I'm hoping that's going to open up soon. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this concept here. So first of all, what is 5x5? Well, 5x5 is a workout exercise routine where you do basically, there's 5 exercises you do. You're going to do squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, and barbell rows. That's it on this particular program. You're also going to do 5 sets for 5 reps. So, for example, let's take the squats. You would do 5 sets of squats, and you would do 5 reps. On this particular program as well, we do not pyramid, which means we do not increase or lower the weight for each set. So some people do a pyramid. So like, say if they started with 100 pounds, they would go to maybe to 110 on the second set. On the third set, they would go to 120, and so on and so forth. On this program, if you're doing 100 pounds for that workout, you're doing 100 pounds. So you would do, if you're squatting 100 pounds, you're going to do 5 sets of 5 reps for that squat routine. Now, what happens though is if you are successfully able to complete those 5 sets and 5 reps for your 100-pound squat, then the next workout, you're going to add 5 pounds to the bar. And you're going to keep doing this until you hit your max. And after you hit your max, there's a couple of different ways you can go about either trying to break through that max or starting a new cycle. So this workout does contain an A and B portion. We have a workout A and a workout B. Workout A consists of squats, overhead press, and deadlifts in that order. And workout B consists of squats, bench press, and barbell rows in that order. As you can see, this is a very heavy squat routine. You'll be squatting every workout. The reason for this is in bodybuilding theory and powerlifting theory, the squat is considered nearly a full body exercise. So yeah, you're hitting your legs hard, but you're also pulling in a lot of secondary muscles as well. And if you can get your legs strong, usually the rest of your body will follow. Also, as well, to continue on how the workout goes, you will work out 3 times a week. So you can just pick out what 3 days you want to do. I typically do a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Some people like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday routine. And that's it. That's all you're in the gym. The workouts usually last about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you go. Also, too, if you're relatively new to working out in the gym, or even experienced folks, you start out with just the bar with 45 pounds and all your exercises. Now, at first, you're going to feel kind of weak in the gym, even if, around other people, because you're just doing the bar. But I promise you, this thing takes off really fast. After a couple of weeks of adding weight, it's going to start really adding up. So, for example, if you start up with a 45-pound bar on the squats, you're doing this 3 times a week, you're adding 5 pounds to every workout, you're increasing your weights by 15 pounds per week. So if you chart that out, those squats start getting heavy really fast. Once you hit your max weight, what you do is you can give up to 3 attempts to get that weight. Not in the same workout, but in 3 successive workouts. So the way it usually works is this. For me anyway, it could be different for you. Let's say I'm doing the squats with 100 pounds again, and this is my max. And I start one set, I get to 5 reps, but I'm struggling. Second set, I go for my 5 reps and I'm struggling again. Third set, I don't make it. I can only get 4 reps before my body or my legs give out. So put the bar down, and I'm done with that particular set. I would try again, try to get a couple more, try to finish out the routine. But that exercise would be considered kind of not a fail. I think fail is kind of the wrong word, but we're at a stopping point. So we're not going to add any more weight to the bar at this point. So we're going to come back next workout and try those again and see if we can go ahead and get that 100 pounds. And I said we'll try that up to 3 pounds or 3 times. If we can't get past that weight, what you do is you deload and you start working up again. Usually in that time, I usually recommend cutting the weight by 50%. So again, our 100-pound squat example, if you hit the 100 pounds and you can't get past it, I recommend cutting the weight in half, going back down to 50 pounds, and then start trying to build it back up again. Once you hit your max the second time, hopefully higher the next time, you have two choices. You can either A, you can accept that as your current max, or B, you can try microplating. Microplating is the practice of adding extremely small increments of weights, quarter pounds, half pounds, or 1 pound weights. And you can actually get these things off Amazon and different places. I have some that I use regularly. So what you do is you continue with this for all your exercises until you kind of get to a place where you can't move on anymore. And then that's kind of your current max point. So at that time, you can either decide to kind of keep cycling, keep cutting the weights and trying to build them up, or you can just move on to a different kind of routine. What I typically do is I spend 6 months out of the year doing this routine, the 5x5 routine, usually in the fall. I usually start in October and go to about March. Then March through September, I'm doing more of a traditional bodybuilding routine. So I'm looking to add strength in bulk basically in the winter, and in the summer I'm going for more shaping, more cutting kind of results as it's kind of summer and you're kind of at the gym, you're kind of at the beach and you want to look good. All right, so that's kind of the workout plan. The next important phase is the nutrition plan. So there's a couple key concepts you got to know about your nutrition. The biggest question people usually ask is, how much protein do I need to eat? It's a hotly debated topic. You can see ranges from 0.8 grams per body weight all the way up to 2 grams per body weight. Me, I always try to come somewhere in the middle. So I say you should have 1 gram of protein per body weight. I think that's sufficient to give your body enough nutrition without making you fat. Because if you're eating too much of any nutrient, whether it be fat, carbs, or protein, you're going to add on extra body weight. So, for example, if you weigh 150 pounds, you should probably be eating about 150 grams of protein per day. Now, what sources should your protein be coming from? Well, they can come from a variety of sources, but I traditionally eat either chicken, steak, ground beef, fish, peanut butter, tuna, cheese, milk, and I didn't add on this, but you can add it yourself as well, some kind of protein shake. So what I would recommend doing is you're going to be eating a fair amount of food, especially when you start getting into the 150 to 200 pound range. That's a lot of meat. And I recommend splitting it up into probably 4 to 6 different meals. I usually eat myself either 5 to 6 different meals a day. What I try to do is get about 30 to 40 grams of protein in each meal. Also recommend that you consider joining a wholesale kind of club, such as like a Sam's Club or a Costco, where you can buy things in bulk and realize some savings from buying in bulk. Because like I say, it does get a little expensive. They will have everything you need there on this list, including the protein shakes if you really want them. Then carbohydrates. This is something that you have to make this routine successful. It is not a low carb routine. Also another reason why I do it during the winter when I'm not as concerned about what I look like. There's debate on how much carbs you should be eating as well. I recommend starting at about 1.5 grams per body weight. And if you find yourself getting a little too fat, then just back it down to 1 gram per body weight. So that is that. Carbs are cheap. Carbs are very accessible. I traditionally get my carbs from potatoes, rice, oatmeal, vegetables and fruits. So try to eat healthy carbs if you can. Try to eat like potatoes, like real potatoes that you either bake or cut up. Try to get enriched or brown rice, and make sure you're getting in some vegetables and fruits as well, because those are very important too. For fats, don't need quite as many of those, but you do want them present in your diet. I suggest doing things like cooking with olive oil, maybe eating some avocados with different recipes you may come up with, and snacking on nuts, which are both high in good fats and protein. So moving on. So after all this, you may be asking yourself, what kind of results can I get from this kind of routine? Now, I will say up front that this will be contingent on the amount of effort, the amount of commitment, and also your genetics to a certain extent, because your body is only going to give you so much. So not to say that to be discouraging, but I don't want you to think that you're going to end up like a top professional bodybuilder by doing this program necessarily. There are other components like genetics that do affect our results. However, this program will seek to maximize your genetics. So our goal is to build the best bodies we can with the genetics we have. If you're one of our Hardgainer Ectomorph friends, we already have a disadvantage, but this program will help us maximize the genetics that we have been born with. So typically results on this program, I also need to mention too that this program typically lasts about 3 to 6 months. It takes about 3 months to go through one cycle, and I usually do 2 cycles, so that gives me about 6 months worth of routine. So squats, these are just average numbers. Your numbers could be higher or lower, depending on, like I said again, the amount of effort, commitment, and your genetic structure. But typical squats, it usually end up in the 200 to 300 range. Deadlifts can range anywhere from 275 to 400. Bench press can land in the 200 to 300 range. Overhead press can land in the 125 to 200 pound range. And rows can end up anywhere from 150 to 250. That's kind of why in the beginning I recommended that you, if you're going to do a home workout program, that you have at least about 300 pounds for this routine. And again, as I already said, you can typically expect, for your best results anyway, to do about 6 months of work to see the best results. All right, so right now is question time. So if you have any questions, feel free to share them now in the chat box, which I'll go over into real quick, and I'll just type a little message here. See, it works pretty well. So if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask them. I'll take any questions that you have related to the program, to nutrition, to any of the techniques. And again, as I said, if you don't feel comfortable asking the question here, just feel free to email me as well. Also, too, there's a contact form on the website that you can check out too, if that interests you. All right, moving on. So where should you go from here? You've got basically 3 different options. You can take the information that I've given you and try it on your own. Also, as well, if you attended this webinar live, I will send out this as a copy to you for you to review over, so you can kind of see exactly what I talked about again, because I know we've only been up here a little while. So you can try it on your own. If you're ready to go, get your equipment in order, get down to the gym, whatever works for you, and go ahead and give this routine a shot. If you feel like you need a little additional help though, we do have a video course available on the website. It's the Skinny to Strong video course. The video course has 50 guided workouts all set up for you. All you have to do is you go there and you just follow the workouts. So the workouts will last you about 4 to 6 months. Like I said, all you have to do is go in order, follow them. It'll tell you exactly what to do every workout, down to the rep, down to the set. Each exercise is completely explained for you. Also included in the course are equipment recommendations. There's some warm-up routines, some stretching routines. We've got nutritional tips, recovery enhancers, and there's a workout tracker as well. That's something I really recommend too, is that you consider tracking your workout. You want to keep up with your sets and your reps for each workout, because it's hard for you to see progress if you don't do this. One thing you got to understand is the Ectomorph, progress is going to be slow. But what I say is, if you got one more rep in each workout than you got the last time, you did well. That's a win for you. So for us Ectomorphs, it takes longer. We have to work harder at it, but we can get there. So that's why it's so important that you track exactly how many sets and reps you're doing for each workout. Now I can drop the link to our session here in the chat. I'll drop it right in there for you so you can copy it if you'd like. I will send this out in the email as well to you so that you can check it out whenever you're ready. So I'm just going to drop that in there real quick, send it out. That's the link to get the Skinny to Strong course. Now, if you feel like you need a little extra help and you want one-on-one attention, I also offer this Skinny to Strong coaching program. Now with this, you get a bonus. You get the entire set of videos, all 50 videos, but you get direct access to me. You'll be able to email me directly with any questions you have, and we also get together on a call at least once a month to go over any questions folks are having. There's also an exclusive Facebook group and community. I spend a little more time on the coaching program and adding materials than I do the video courses, because it's a little more one-on-one attention and people have more questions. So right now we're currently running a special. Right now, at the time of this recording, my coaching program is $19.99 per month. Or if you'd like to get a special discount of 2 months off, you can join our annual plan, which is currently $199.99. You can get access to those programs through the same link that I put in the chat box. But please remember that this is a current promotion right now during this season of COVID, things like that. I'm trying to give people a little bit of a break, but these promotional prices won't last forever. All right, one last time for questions. If you have them, feel free to drop them in the chat box right now. And again, if you are interested, if you don't want to share on the chat, then you can always go to reply to the email that got you this to this program in the first place, or you can, like I said, feel free to use the contact form on the website. So I'll just make sure that nobody else has any questions here real quick. All right, so if nobody else has any questions, I just want to thank you for taking your time out tonight to join me for this special presentation. I wish you the best of luck on your fitness journey. I hope the information that you received tonight is helpful and kind of pointed you in the right direction. Again, feel free to visit us at the link that you see down below, joshualappinfitness.com. Currently working on another workout routine, which I'm going to be introducing here in the next few months. This is my summer routine that I want to share with you. So look forward to that. We've also got a nutritional line, which we're going to be introducing here very shortly as well, of workout supplements that I've been testing this summer. I'm getting some fantastic results from that too. So once again, just want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I hope to see you sometime around very soon on the website or in our community. So again, this is Joshua Lappin, and hope to talk to you again sometime very soon.